Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, Facebook family, good evening. Happy freaking fabulous Friday, baby. Big Papa here. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide, and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. I am sitting in the lap of love. I found Winnie the Pooh on a corner in Crescent City. Isn't this the most beautiful thing ever? For those of you who know me really well and intimately, I actually have a Winnie the Pooh tattoo on my left shoulder. He's got a couple of books between his legs and he's in a thinking position. Always been a big Winnie the Pooh fan. So when I saw this big honey bear here, I think it's probably more like a black bear since we're in Crescent City in the mountains. I just had to come sit on his lap and give him some love and get some love back. So that's about as light as this episode of Post Daily Dose is going to get. I want to talk to you about just the interaction I had this afternoon with a parent who's got a now 5-year-old child, and they adopted the child when she was 11 months old. And after a couple of years, well, the 11-month-old always had issues with the mom. She was always really attached to the dad. And then when she got a little older, the parents started to notice some real sexually inappropriate behaviors on the part of this little girl, and some other behaviors, and they started, I don't have my faithful podium today, so my arm gets a little tired. So they're doing the best they can. Let me keep the bear in the picture here. Doing the best they can to, work with this child through these behaviors that they have no comprehension for. And I said to the mom, what you feel, because she expressed being feeling overwhelmed and feeling scared and feeling stressed. And I said, those are absolutely normal feelings, because what you're dealing with are abnormal behaviors. And people don't realize that when you have a child who's experienced trauma, and trauma can start right after conception, the way that influences the brain will eventually dictate a lot of the child's behaviors. And I just want to tell you, as adoptive parents, it's so easy for you to take those behaviors personally, as this mom was doing, but it's not your fault. It is not your fault that your child struggles the way that they do and they have the behaviors that they do. These experiences and these subsequent behaviors are manifestations of their earliest core experiences. And they could have been, this child could have been 11 months old, but trauma starts in utero. There's all the way back to the 60s and 70s. There's a whole field called pre and perinatal psychology, which talks about the impact of trauma on the developing fetus. And there's pre-verbal trauma, emotional experiences that happen to the child before they have words to associate and identify the experience. And so this particular mom, she had this child since 11 months old, and then they eventually adopted her. Now she's 5 and she's had all these behavior problems, and mom really wants to blame herself and feels really guilty and ashamed for all these behaviors. And I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. What you're feeling is absolutely appropriate. Every parent in your situation would feel that same way, but let me tell you something. Those behaviors are coming from a place before this child ever knew you. And what's happening is when the child gets stressed, her brainstem gets activated, which is where all her trauma is stored, and that's what starts dictating the behaviors. So, excuse me. On this freaking fabulous Friday, what I really want to just do is tell you guys, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It is now obviously your responsibility to help your children heal through their pain, but it's not your fault, the reason they're going through the things they're going through. So give yourselves a little bit of a break, ease up a little bit, back up, slow down, breathe, calm yourself down, and then create some space to start helping that child and your child work through their trauma. And one of the things mom said, and you guys have heard me say this before too, she was about to say, I finally realized that love is not enough. And I said, no, that's not true. I said, what happens is that in the presence of stress, you're not able to stay in a space of love, your fear takes over. And she says, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because love is enough. Love is the most powerful healing force in the universe. In fact, when healing occurs, it is because of love and no other reason. Love is enough when you're able to maintain a space of love in the presence of fear. It's when we drop into the fear and the overwhelm and we start operating from that place, thinking that we're operating it from love, when actually, in truth, we're operating from stress and fear. So love is definitely enough. So that's all, guys. Remember, in any given situation, we always have two choices. We can continue to be overwhelmed and get stressed and operate from our blueprints of fear, or we can stop. We can take 3 to 10 deep breaths, slow down, and choose love. And I hope you guys will choose love. God bless each and every one of you. Big Papa loves you. Hope you have a freaking fantastic, fabulous Friday, and I'll see you Monday.